Alright, gotta head to the hangars. Alright, now where's my pilot? Is it you? Hello.
Hello, Commander. I'm MacLeod. I'll be your personal pilot.
You're French?
No, Commander. I can't imagine what drew you to that conclusion.
Just a hunch. On a completely unrelated matter, why do you talk like that?
Like what?
Dear God, this ship is an anthropologist's nightmare.
Couldn't agree more, Commander. That man, the technician, he gives me the creeps. They should take pronunciation lessons.
You're joking, right?
Mais non?
That was literally French. You just said French words. You know what? I'm not going into another Scotland. Are you ready to go?
Oui, just press this button on the console here and talk to me through one of the communicators inside when you're ready to take off.
Fine.
Hello?
Oh, wow, this one's really decked out. Oh, hello, you two my guards?
Commander, we will be your guard during this mission.
Thank you.
Commander, we will be your guard during this mission.
Thank you. The armor still looks a little enclavey, just like you got a little commie in ya.
Hello?
I guess it'll work. Oh my god, a fully stocked bar, yes. Some of these I've never even heard of before. Alright, let me get to work. No new emails yet. Pilot. Hello?
Are you ready to depart, Commander?
I'm ready. Let's go to Moscow.
Of course, Commander. We are leaving the Olympus.
I'm so excited. What do these buttons do? Nothing yet, apparently. Oh, I got some new stuff on here.
Terran Starship Command, workstation software loaded. ID confirmed. Greetings, Commander. Intelligence Archive. Reborn Coalition of Soviet Nations. About the RCSN. RCSN General Information. The Reborn Coalition of Soviet Nations has arisen in the heart of the territory formerly occupied by the Soviet Union, from which they have inherited most of their creed and symbolism, yet with important differences. The origins of the RCSN come, of course, with the destruction of the Old World. Since the Soviet Union kept careful diplomatic relations with both sides of the conflict, they were not labeled as a main target for neither of the warring factions. Of course, their cities still were bombed when the day came, since most capitals in the world were targeted in that madness. But, because they were not labeled as a primary objective, neither by China or the US, a great number of their military bases were left untouched. In a world in ruins, the Red Army could have very well dedicated themselves to pillage, or the law of the stronger one, but a visionary came forth. General Arkady Radimov, creator of the reborn communism doctrine. He saw the apocalypse as an opportunity to rise from the ashes, like a phoenix, and bring communism to life in a way that wasn't possible in the former superpopulated world. He quickly united the Red Army under one flag, and they restored order in the land. Those were hard, tough years of war and conquest, but from the ashes of the Soviet Union, the reborn coalition of Soviet nations finally raised. Today, the RCSN is one of the most powerful factions on the face of the earth. They are a militarized society, and they live through a very special view on the communist doctrine.
Okay, that doesn't sound great, but I have to remember I'm reading it through the biases of what the Serifs have gotten so far. And, I mean, they were from the Enclave, so... Plus, it might not even be all the information.
General Artyom Orlov. General Artyom Orlov, the Man of Steel, great leader and strategist and current marshal of the RCSN. Orlov carries a very successful military career at his back. The patriotic fervor of his youth, as well as his battlefield merits, soon earned him an officer position. With time, he more than proved his worth as a leader, and he raised to the position of general at a relatively young age. A series of successful campaigns against outlaws and mutants earned him the respect of the whole country. So he eventually became the Marshal of the RCSN. His mandate has risen some controversy among the general public and even his own generals. Orlov has changed some aspects of the reborn communist doctrine in order to make the RCSN more viable in the current world, and this has been received with mixed feelings. However, his views have proven to be beneficial for the coalition, and this makes his popularity stronger than ever. Final notes. Orlov seems to be very dedicated to the RCSN and its people, and doesn't seem like he can be tempted with offers of personal gain. He also tends to digress in conversations, but he does it in a deliberate way to judge the reactions and views of his interlocutors, so one should not lower the guard when talking to him.
Okay, so before the war, the Soviet Union claimed to be an authoritarian communist state, although they didn't really deliver on that.
We have received the latest report regarding the resource wars. Within 2 days, their capital city fell into our hands. Within 1 hour, our entire force holding Moscow was disbanded. Our British allies were nowhere to be seen.
So it sounds like when the RCSM was formed, they tried to actually do that and actually live to communist principles. While they probably still revered Marx, I wonder if they still revered Stalin, or if they perhaps rejected him. But it sounds like there were still problems on the RCSN if what I read is to be trusted. And considering they united the nations by conquering, yeah, they probably weren't the best. But this General Orlov guy is trying to modernize it and reform it. That's a good idea. I feel like that's what I'm trying to do with the Enclave. It seems like that might be something we can talk about together. It was a risky gamble, but it seems we're both trying it. Alright, I've got some orders and reports to fill out that I can do at this desk until we get there. Sounds like we're landing. Wow, time flew by. Oh wow, I'm in Russia! Can't believe it. I'm so excited to meet everybody. I can't believe I'm in another nation. I finally see the communist perspective. Oh wow, they literally laid out the red carpet for me. Hello. Hello. Oh, they got vertebrates. Hello. Hi.
Dobry dzień, Commander. That's what passes for good afternoon here. I'm Seth Eligor. I hope you had a good trip.
Yes, thank you, Eligor.
General Orlov is waiting for you at his office. I'll take you there.
Alright, lead the way.
Your guard can't get in, I'm afraid. They're better off guarding the Valkyrie. I'll fill you in on the details as we move. Please, head inside.
Okay. I just need to catch my breath for a minute. It was kind of cramped in there. Wait, is that snow falling? Oh yeah, it must be colder here.
Please, follow me.
Where Chip's supposed to lead me? Come on.
This is the Presidential Palace, home of the government of the Reborn Coalition of Soviet Nations.
Okay. Interesting.
They are a militarized society, much like our own. They live through an adapted version of the communist precepts.
I'd be interested to see what they adapted.
The RCSN rules an area larger than the NCR, but it consists mostly in tundra and has lower population density. Outside cities, however, they benefit from much lower radiation and less abominations than in America.
Oh, that's good.
This doesn't translate in absolute safety, though. Climate is very rough, and they're having a series of confrontations of a political nature, as well as garden variety bandits and outlaws.
I see.
The people you have seen in this building are all that prevents this whole region from being engulfed in chaos.
Oh, wow.
Anything you want to know before stepping in?
What's your part in all this?
I was sent to establish the foundations of an alliance. I started helping with local conflicts and soon gained access to Orlov's circle of trust.
Why didn't you tell me about Orlov?
He's a seasoned soldier. Wouldn't have lasted long in his position if he wasn't a hard person, but he also has a strong sense of justice and honor. Above all else, he's a pragmatist. He'll want to speak with you, size you up before finalizing any arrangement. Just relax and be polite, and everything will be fine.
Yeah, I heard he won't even take bribes. He must be a true believer now, so I guess we're dealing with communists.
That is one of the reasons we had to keep this a secret even from our own men. Even so long after the war, some things are still a bit taboo. However, I believe you'll understand once you talk to General Orlov.
Ah, I see. That's why you are dealing with this instead of Tanaka. Alright, I'm ready.
I'll wait here. He's waiting for you inside.
Thank you.
And they all obey one man, General Artyom Orlov.
Greetings, Commander. Please, take a seat.
Hello? Wow. Buildings are more intact than ours.
The Terran Starship Command, the saviors of Earth, the last hope of mankind. With your powerful weaponry, you will bring everlasting peace. With your superior technology, you will resurrect civilization. Am I right, Commander?
I'm not one for empty promises. Only facts can prove such things.
A feeling that I share. As you may already know, I am General Artyom Orlov. I bid you welcome to Moscow.
To be honest, I would have expected your base to be at the Kremlin. Was it destroyed?
The Kremlin is pretty much intact, but I'm afraid it has become inaccessible.
What do you mean?
We don't go to the Kremlin. Let's just leave it at that.
Oh, it's probably irradiated and nuked. Thank you for your warm welcome.
You don't receive the visit of a galactic ruler every day. I apologize for not receiving you personally. I just received an urgent matter that I had to deal with. The Soviet coalition requires a lot of attention these days.
Is this related to the communist doctrine?
I expect this will not pose a problem to you.
Well, these days there's plenty of room for many ideologies, including several versions of communism.
Indeed there is. Even some new beliefs have arisen. At the remnants of Paris, they have created an art-centric society with the headquarters at the Louvre. The Vascalonian coalition has arisen in the north of Spain. They worship science, which is looked at with disdain by the ultra-humanists of the Iberian Union. And in Germany, the Teutonic Knights are at war with the Fourth Reich. Ideologies are more alive than ever. For now, it works, but it's only a matter of time before we face trouble.
God damn it, a Fourth Reich, when are we gonna be done with Nazis? Well, we'll have to talk about allying against them, but in the meantime, what did you mean about trouble?
When you're dealing with a basic society, it's easy to maintain ideology as a rule. It can even be helpful. That's why we stuck to the communist precepts. But as society grows, change is inevitable. We've had to implement a few changes, relax the doctrine.
Oh, that's interesting. I guess it depends on what kind of communism we're talking about. I presume the authoritarian kind. Historically, I've been against it, but obviously as commander of the TSC, I've had to bend things into shape. But deviating from pure Stalinism, surely that has upset people in positions of power, no?
Fundamentalism. People who consider a doctrine to be an absolute rather than a means have always been a problem, and they always will be. They call themselves the Bolsheviks, military insurrects. They want the communist ideals to be above everything else.
Oh, so the Serifs were right. You're trying to reform the Soviet Union. You're trying to make it less dictatorial. You are trying to do what I'm doing. And it sounds like post-war, the RCSM was fundamentalist like you were saying. And the Bolsheviks are trying to bring it back to the way it was. They must not like your reforms. I'd have to look at your policies because they might be a bit liberal for my liking, but you might honestly get a truer form of communism than Russia has ever been. Has this caused a civil war?
Not for now. The people are with us, as well as the bulk of the army, but we fear that they are up to something.
A very delicate situation. There might be radicals in positions of power that don't wish to change. It's very difficult to get an oligarchy to give up its power. A mistake could prove fatal.
You're quite right, and that's why establishing an official relationship with you at this moment could have unpredictable results. However, we can talk about the business that has brought you here today.
Honestly, you're right. An alliance with you could make the TSC more communist, which would be great. And it could influence your government to be less authoritarian. I think we could both benefit from such an arrangement, meeting in the middle somewhere. But yes, you're right. Let's get to immediate business. The Hammerhead armor.
Yes, the Hammerhead armor, the pride of the old Soviet army. More powerful than the American power armor. It has the strength of 100 men, and can transform a man into a juggernaut. And more importantly, it is totally, completely, and utterly useless.
Useless?
The Hammerhead is a perfect example of what happens to a science team if they're meddled with by an overexcited employer. They wanted to make a device that shamed the American power armor, and that they did, except for one crucial detail.
Let me guess, the power supply. Why does it always come down to that?
So you know about these kind of things. Yes, the armor was too ahead of its time. One suit consumes as much energy in a day as this entire compound consumes in a week.
What? So it is inoperative?
Russian scientists were working on it, but the US and China unleashed hell before they could finish.
But I thought Russia was allied with...
Does it matter anymore? I assume you are not here to discuss ancient history. You want the armors, but they are useless. What would you do with them if I gave them to you?
Actually, I'm fascinated by the history, but sure. We have some of the best scientific minds in the TSC. We'll sort that out.
You seem confident enough. But why do you need the armor so suddenly? As far as I know, you have encountered little opposition so far.
Since you've been kind enough to tell me about your problems, I suppose I'll tell you about ours.
I'm all ears.
Much like how the RCSN only controls a portion of the former Soviet Union, we control a fraction of former America. There are other nations we have had to contend with. One of whom is called the Brotherhood of Steel, specifically the Western chapter. They have decided that they want our technology and are willing to go to war to get it. So we're hoping to get some power armor as a defensive precaution.
I understand. Such an act of cowardice cannot be easily forgiven. You have my sympathy, Commander. In any case, I have to focus on the important part now. Why would I want to help you?
I suppose I could offer you a very good personal position at Poseidonis.
I know about your Poseidonis, and I have no interest in selling my people for personal benefit. Frankly, I feel extremely insulted and disappointed to hear this.
Okay, I'm sorry, that was a bad idea. I suppose that means you wouldn't want money for them either?
Will you? How many coalition rubles do you have?
Oh,
I thought so. We don't accept foreign currency of any kind. It's hard enough to keep our own currency active.
The TSC would be owing you a favor.
I only believe in things that I can touch and see. This, I'm afraid, excludes such things as ghosts, pixies, and favors.
We have better options than mere material goods.
So I've heard. I've heard a lot, and I've seen a lot as well. Now, up to what point would you be willing to share?
We could establish a trade alliance.
No offense, but I don't really trust you enough to discuss this matter.
Fair enough. What's the current state of your satellite network?
No offense, but I don't really trust you enough to discuss this matter.
Really? How about we help you restore long-range TV broadcast?
No offense, but I don't really trust you enough to discuss this matter.
Okay then, how about we share all progress on the armors with you?
I'm afraid that's not enough. We will require additional compensation. How about some alien weaponry? 200 guns should do.
Weaponry, really? Fine, let me think about it.
Firepower for armor. We need to keep the balance, Commander.
Fine, we have a deal?
Yes. I will prepare a demonstration of the armors for you tomorrow morning, and we will seal the deal.
Please, accept this Dom Perignon. May be useful for celebrating things to come.
Champagne. And it looks recent, too. I've only seen 2 bottles in my entire life, and they were both so old that they were undrinkable. Where did you...
We have fine artisans at Poseidonis who worked hard to recover the technique.
And now you make champagne. This TSC box of yours is full of surprises. I'll put it to cool.
So it looks like I'll have to spend the night here.
I will have a room prepared for your stay, and make sure that it is fit for someone of your stature. You sound like a reasonable person, Commander. I think you and I can benefit from helping each other.
Glad to hear it.
Good. I expect you'll find the room to your liking.
Thank you. Oh, this is such a nice room. Hello.
Hello, Commander. Are you available?
Of course, Eligor. Please take a seat.
Thank you.
they got some books. Oh no. Guess I better read up on this.
I have to congratulate you, Commander. General Orlov is very impressed by your character.
He's a reasonable man. I think we'll get along well.
Glad to hear it. When I was sent on this mission, I expected having to deal with a fanatic, but I found a pragmatist instead.
In any case, I have a few questions.
I thought you would. What do you want to know?
I wanted to ask about you.
Yes?
What's your story?
You want a service sheet? 2 years in the infantry, 4 in special operations, 8 at the European Scout Division, and then I came back and got into intelligence. Gained rank, learnt disturbing things about incompetent leaders, and defected. Then the Brotherhood bastards betrayed us, and the rest is history.
How did the Brotherhood betray you?
Yes, we had already stipulated our adhesion to them, but when we reached the location, they received us with their guns blazing. That's what bothers me the most, that nothing is sacred philosophy. No society has a future without a certain amount of honor. Trust is what keeps civilization together. Backstabbing may be very profitable, but every time someone does it, we die a bit more as a species.
Okay, but that's very unlike the Capital Brotherhood. I can't help thinking that maybe Lyons approved it and then Rothschild or someone went behind his back. The European Division?
Well, not exactly a division. The Enclave wanted to know what the situation was in Europe, so an elite group was sent there under Schmidt's command.
Schmidt went to Europe?
Where do you think he got that violin of his? Getting it out of that museum was quite a pain. He almost lost his right hand. That would have been ironic. A lot of the current Seraphim come from that group. Good days. Travelling, adventure. I miss it. Except for Stockholm. Oh god, that was horrible.
What happened in Stockholm?
Well, what happens in Stockholm stays in Stockholm.
Just like in Vegas.
Now that you mention it, Vegas is growing quite popular these days. I've heard Civilian Affairs has plans to establish an embassy in the Strip.
Oh, that's good. I'd really like to visit Vegas someday. So, Seraph, you know you're the first I've met, not counting Archangel.
I'm not surprised. The best trait about a Seraph job is you don't get to notice it's been done. We won't be remembered. That's our motto. Guardian angels, or wrathful demons. We solve problems before they become problems. Actually, I should have prepared the groundwork a bit more for a diplomatic team, but the war changed everything.
Solving problems before they become problems sounds a lot better when you're talking about diplomacy, because there's other ways that can be interpreted. So, what have you been doing around here?
Earning trust, helping with national problems, gathering information. Our technology can give you a very important advantage over locals. Most people don't even know who I really am. Only the general and 1 or 2 senior officials know about the TSC. The rest only knew someone important was coming. You should have seen their faces when instead of a chopper, a UFO landed on the roof.
Yeah, I bet it was impressive. Let me ask you something else.
Of course. What is it?
Could I ask you about the local politics?
Of course. What is it?
How exactly did Artyom reform the communist doctrine?
Little things mostly, but what seems to have caused all this mess are the privileges he gave to traveling merchants. Very few people wanted to endanger their skin on transport caravans, so he wanted to make it worth the risk.
That's it? He offered protection to merchants? That doesn't sound like a big deal.
Some think that small changes only precede big ones. Others use this for personal interests, and some simply enjoy criticizing their leader. Politics. Considering how the TSC is growing, we should get used to them.
I'm guessing they didn't like it because it was essentially regulation in favor of small-time workers. I guess you could also say it allowed them to have their own trade that wasn't planned by a central economy. They asking for other options?
Well, the Red Army took care of transport for a while, but to make it cost-effective they had to concentrate trades in immense macro convoys. Slow. Noticeable. Too tempting. So the Black Cossacks and the Silvery Horde teamed up to attack one. They succeeded, and the consequences were absolutely disastrous. You have to keep booty and risk balanced with bandits. You'd be surprised how quickly they forget their own wars when they see profit at hand.
Oh, so he's trying to decentralize it. That's good, as long as he lets the workers unionize and fight for their own rights. Let me ask you about something else.
Of course. What is it?
Could I ask about the general?
What about him?
How did he become Marshal of the RCSN?
He forged a name during the Siberian campaign. From what I understand, we can't even imagine how that was. He also earned the reputation of a peacekeeper because of a series of successful campaigns against outlaws. Oh, and the Purge of St. Petersburg. They take merit very seriously here, so he was elected Marshal by the Board of Generals as soon as the former one stepped down.
Step down?
The Marshal doesn't have absolute power. He needs support from the Board of Generals to last at his position. Olaf has achieved unquestionable results and has more than enough support. His detractors can't take him down by the book, hence this Bolshevik show. They want to turn the people against him, but the people have no time for nonsense. I won't say they love him, but they value his skill.
Oh, so he's in a similar position that I am, with the council, but probably more beloved than I am. Any close relatives?
He has a son and a daughter, both away serving the RCSN as researchers. I know he has or had a wife. Nothing else.
Scientists, curious considering their family trade.
You'd expect him to be disappointed, wouldn't you? Well, I saw pride in his eyes when he told me about them. They work as a team and have achieved a promising success at, what was it now, eco restoration? Something like that.
That's amazing. No wonder he's better than the other leaders. He listens to science. Wait, what do you mean by has or had a wife?
He's very evasive about that subject, so I didn't press it. I'm here as a special agent, not a psychologist.
Fair enough.
Of course. What is it?
Now, if you'll excuse me, I want to explore this palace a bit.
Of course. But please, get some sleep afterwards. We need you at your best for the final negotiation.
Of course. Oh, it turns the music off. Oh my god, this is Russian vodka. I want it so bad. Gimme, gimme. Yum. Oh, what's this? They set up a little workstation for me. Oh, wow, this is a nice bath. All marble. Huh. Nice, I guess? Ugh, who is that? Probably just some long dead evil Russian leader or something. Glad Orlov's making things better, though. Oh, it's Lenin. Yay.
Вечер добрый.
I do not understand what you're saying.
Доброе утро. Эй, привет.
Excuse me? Oh, hello?
Доброе утро.
Oh, this is the map of a Moscow metro. Huh. I'll take that. I'm sure they have copies. Wait a minute, what's this? This looks like a torture room. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see this. I'm hoping Orlov doesn't use it anymore. Alright, I should rest before the demonstration tomorrow. Alright, time to get some rest. Oh, they gave me some sleepwear. Nice.